What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, we'll be featuring Galaxy Eyes, a deck that has slowly began to take shape with an influx of new cards over the last few years. Now, even having a way to play around its Kryptonite Nibiru, while also having pieces within its own archetype that allow it to go first and second. So if you're a fan of big dragon monsters and versatile combos, then this might be a deck for you. We're going to begin here with a one-card combo, and I call it a one-card combo because the 7th Tachyon is just the searcher for it. It does lock you into Exceed monsters, but I wanted to show that you can get it this way regardless. And we're going to get our first new card. This is the Galaxy Defense Robot Orbital 7, a level 8 light machine monster that reads, you contribute this card from your hand or field, take one Photon monster and one Galaxy monster from your deck, add one of them to your hand, and send the other to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except light monsters. If a Galaxy Eyes monsters is special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Orbital 7 once per turn, so pretty amazing card as it does almost everything for this archetype, but we're now going to use its effect in order to add ourselves the copy of the Galaxy Summoner, sending away the Jumper. Use the effect of Jumper now that it's been sent to the graveyard so that we can get ourselves the Galaxy 100, activate the Galaxy 100, send away the copy of Emperor, use the effect of Emperor to revive it, giving us an extra normal summon for turn, as now we can use the effect of the Summoner on that extra normal summon to get back the Jumper. We'll then go into our copy of Galaxy Photon Dragon, use the effect of Galaxy Photon Dragon in order to search ourselves a copy of Primal. Now we can activate the copy of Primal in hand to special summon it, and this will give us the ability to add the Transmigration as well as trigger the Orbital 7 in the graveyard to special summon it, and from here we can now go into our Dragluxion. Now we can use the effect of Dragluxion in order to get ourselves the copy of Afterglow, and now with the Afterglow in hand, there are a few options that you have from this point, but I'm going to leave the other option for the second combo. As for this first one, I do want to go over the last new card, as we're now going to go into our number 107. This also gives us the ability to keep Tachyon Transmigration in hand so that you don't have to commit more onto the field. You're also able to have another monster that doesn't really care about something like Imperm, but now we'll have the ability to go into our next new card. This is the Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon Photon Howling, a rank 8 that takes 3 level 8 monsters, and once per turn you can also Exceed summon Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon Photon Howling by using one rank 8 Exceed monster you control, transfer its materials. Kind of scary how generic that is, but if this card is Exceed summoned, you can take one Photon monster from your deck and either special summon it in defense position or attach it to this card as material. Quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, tribute one other Exceed monster, and if you do, negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field until the end of this turn. So we're going to continue here by using its effect in order to get ourselves the copy of the Galaxy Eyes Photon Chain Dragon, which is our final new card, and this one reads, you can special summon this card from your hand by tributing 2 face-up monsters on either field with 2000 or more attack, including a monster you control. You can only special summon Galaxy Eyes Photon Chain Dragon once per turn this way. During the main phase, quick effect, you can banish this card you control, special summon one Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck or graveyard, then you can banish one monster your opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck until the end phase. You can only use this effect of Photon Chain Dragon once per turn. So with just one card, or rather the 7th Tachyon, you're able to get yourself the Transmigration in hand, the Photon Chain Dragon, which can get you a potential banish, as well as a field negation via the Photon Howling, which is just pretty insane. You're also able to tribute off the Photon Dragon or the copy of Photon Howling, which has the copy of Jumper on it, giving you some follow-up. For this second combo, we're going to run it back, but this time just with the Orbital 7, which will expand our options a little bit, as we're now going to add ourselves the Summoner, send away the copy of Jumper again, use the effect of Jumper to get the Galaxy 100. We can then activate the Galaxy 100, send away the copy of Emperor, use the effect of Emperor to revive it, as now we can get the extra normal summon for the Summoner, use the effect of Summoner to bring back the Jumper. Now we can go into our Galaxy Photon Dragon, use its effect in order to add ourselves the copy of Primal. We'll then activate the copy of Primal in hand so that we can trigger the Orbital 7 as well as add the copy of Transmigration, as now we'll have 3 level 8s on board as the Transmigration in hand as well. We'll then go into our copy of Dragluxion, use the effect of Dragluxion. This time, instead of going into the number 107, we're going to go into our copy of the Photon Lord, I believe, as we'll then be able to go into our Neo Galaxy Eyes, use its effect, and instead of getting the Chain Dragon this time, we can also get the Photon Orbital. So we're going to use the effect of Photon Orbital, equipping it to whatever you want to, then use the effect of Orbital as it's equipped, and then get ourselves the copy of Delta Wing. From here, we'll then normal summon the Delta Wing, use its effect effect in order to special summon out another copy of itself, and at this point you can either go into the Galaxy Eyes Slow Flare Dragon, or you have the ability to go into your Star Liege, and I just wanted to bring up the Star Liege because I think it is pretty important to go into it in some matchups because there are decks like Sky Striker which do like to target a lot, and having the ability to have that targeting and destruction protection can be pretty big, though because we don't have the number 107, we do end up having to set the transmigration. I would also like to point out that during your opponent's turn, you can add yourself a copy of the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon off the Photon Lord, and if you did go into the Soul Flare Dragon, you would have the discard for it. Now, for this next combo, we have the Infinity Dragon, and we're going to start this one by special summoning it out, and we'll also be able to special summon out the copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. We'll then go into our copy of Dragluxion, and with this, we can add ourselves the Orbital 7. Now, with the Orbital 7 in hand, we do have full combos. We're going to be able to add the Summoner as well as send the copy of Jumper, and now from here, we can use the effect of Jumper, get ourselves the Galaxy 100, activate the Galaxy 100, again, send away the Emperor, use the effect of Emperor to revive itself, get the extra normal summon for the Summoner, use the effect of Summoner to get back to Jumper. From here, we can then go into our Galaxy Photon Dragon, use its effect in order to grab ourselves the copy of Primal, and much like previously, we'll special summon out the Primal, trigger the Orbital in the graveyard, get the Transmigration, give us access to another rank 8. In this case, I think we're going to go into the number 107 again, as we're going to do just that, then go into our copy of the Neo Galaxy Eyes, use the effect of Neo in order to get ourselves the copy of Orbital. Now we can use the effect of Orbital, equip it onto whatever you want, use the effect of Orbital, get ourselves the copy of Afterglow, and now with Afterglow, we have access into a number 38, or you can go into what other level 8 or rank 8 you might want to at this point, opt into Exceed Dragon off of the Infinity Dragon. I do think it is better to go into the number 38, but with this, I'll take you on to the next one. This next combo features Galaxy 100. I want to show that this can be a one-card combo as well, though it does require that you play an extra card. So we're going to send away the copy of Jumper, getting ourselves the copy of Trance. We can then use the Trance in order to bring back the copy of the Jumper, and this is the extra card that I was talking about, but we'll summon out the Summoner. We'll then go into the Galaxy Photon Dragon, use the effect in order to grab ourselves the copy of Orbital 7. Now we can activate the copy of Orbital 7, get ourselves the copy of Primal, sending away the copy of Emperor, use the effect of Emperor to revive itself. We can also chain the copy of Primal so that we can special summon it out. At this point, we'll be able to get the Tachyon Transmigration as well as trigger the Orbital in the graveyard so that we can special summon it back out. And because we use the Trance, we can't go into Dragluxion, so it's important that you have the 3 level 8s here so that you can go into the Neo Galaxy this way. And now we can use the effect of the Neo Galaxy in order to get ourselves the copy of the Orbital. We'll then be able to use the Orbital, equip it onto whatever you want to, use the effect of Orbital to search. We'll get ourselves the copy of Delta Wing, normal summon the Delta Wing with the extra normal summon, as we'll then be able to special summon out another copy of Delta Wing. We'll then go into our Soul Flare Dragon, use the effect of Soul Flare to get back to Summoner, and because we haven't used Summoner this turn, we can get the normal summon, use its effect to revive the Wing, and now we can go into our Star Liege for some protection via its ability to protect us from targeting and destruction as long as our monsters are 2000 or more, and of course they have to be light, but that's pretty much the whole archetype. As with that, I'll take you on to the next combo as we do have to set the Tachyon Transmigration here as well. Now this next combo features just Delta Wing, and we're going to start here by normal summoning the Delta Wing, use its effect in order to special summon out another copy of Delta Wing, and now we can go into our Galaxy Photon Dragon, and this will pretty much get us into our one-card combo via the Orbital 7, and now we can use the Orbital 7 in order to get ourselves the Summoner as well as sending away the Jumper, use the effect of Jumper in order to get ourselves the copy of the 100, activate the 100, much like previously we're going to send ourselves the copy of the Emperor so that we can then revive the Emperor, as from here we'll then be able to get that extra normal summon, summon out the Summoner, use its effect to bring back the copy of Jumper, and now we can use the effect of the Galaxy Photon Dragon, which we haven't done this yet, but we'll turn it into level 8, and then we'll be able to go into our Dragluxion this way. So now we can use the effect of Dragluxion, get ourselves the copy of Primal, use the effect of Primal to special summon itself out, as from here we'll then be able to use the effect of Orbital in the graveyard as well as get ourselves the copy of the Tachyon Transmigration, and now we we can go into our number 107, as we'll then be able to go into our Neo, use the effect of Neo. This will give us the ability to special summon out the copy of Orbital, use the effect of Orbital, equip it onto whatever, then we can use its effect as it's equipped in order to add ourselves the Photon Vanisher. We'll then special summon out the copy of Photon Vanisher, giving us access into another rank 4, as from here we'll add ourselves the copy of the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and now we can go into our Star Liege, and because we have the Photon Dragon in hand, we can special summon it out via the Star Liege, and this gives us a banish from our opponent's extra deck with the Galaxy 100 as well, while being able to keep the Transmigration in hand and having the protection of targeting and destruction via the Star Liege. And with that, I'll take you on to the final combo. Now, this final combo features the one way I found that you can safely play around Nibiru, though it does sacrifice losing to Droll, unlike the Infinity Dragon. So we're going to continue here by using the effect of the Sengenjin in order to get it on Dispel and Trap Zone. Then we can use its effect in order to special summon as well as search, as we'll get the Golem. Activate the Golem, we'll then be able to use the Golem in the Spell and Trap Zone so that we can get the special summon and search, as we'll get ourselves the Temple. Now you can put the extra monster in hand via the Temple so that you can get yourself an extra copy of Sengenjin or whatever you end up getting, and this gives you the ability to go into the Doom Dragon. We'll then use the effect of Doom Dragon, put the Golem back into the Spell and Trap Zone. You do this just for more space, but we're now going to go into our Photon Lord, and now we have a way to play around Nibiru safely with the Orbital 7 still in hand. So we're going to activate the Orbital 7, get ourselves the Summoner, sending away the copy of the Jumper. We then have the ability to add ourselves the Galaxy 100, activate the Galaxy 100, sending away the copy of the Emperor again, as we'll use the effect of Emperor, get it back, get the extra normal summon for Summoner, use the effect of Summoner, bring back the Jumper, as we'll then go into our Photon Dragon, use the effect of the Photon Dragon, get ourselves the copy of the Primal. We'll then be able to special summon out the Primal with its effect, triggering the Orbital in Graveyard, as well as getting the Transmigration to our hand, as now we'll have access into another rank 8, as we'll now go into the Dragluxion. All of this with the Photon Lord protection, which is pretty nice, but we're now going to use the effect of the Dragluxion, get ourselves the copy of Afterglow. From here we can special summon out the copy of Afterglow. Now we can go into our copy of number 107. Again, if you want to set this and go into number 38, you can do that as well, but you're now going to go into the copy of the Neo Galaxy Eyes, use the effect of the Neo Galaxy Eyes. This will give us the ability to special summon out the Change Dragon, and now we can pass on to our opponent. So with all of the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile. The first thing that you'll notice is that if you do want to play the Millennium Engine to get that protection under Nib, it means that you will have to make concessions within the main deck unless you really want to go over 40. But what I found is that if you're going to go with the Millennium Engine, then it might be better to take out the Vanisher alongside the Infinity Dragon. But again, it really is dependent on whether you would lose to Droll or Nibiru. Another thing that I would like to cover is the 3 Galaxy 100 as well as Trans. You could do 3 Delta and 1 copy of 100 instead. I just figured that because the Delta is a normal summon, that this might be the better starter, since it at least gets you into a decent board as well, and it's still a spell card. As for the options, there are things like Galaxy Wizard that you can play, which does net you a search for a Galaxy card, which can be a spell or trap like the Hyper Galaxy, and you can special summon it off of the Photon Howling. Then there's things like the Photon Stream of Destruction, the Last Hope Numbers, all this extra stuff. I just don't think that it's needed anymore because we have the consistency via Dragluxion and the Neo Galaxy, tutoring out pretty much everything that we need to after we get into them via all the 1-card starters that we have. I think that there's 14 of them with the Infinity Dragons, the Orbitals, the Galaxy 100, 7th Tachyon, which is 1.5, but then we have the 2 Delta Wings as well, which get you into full combo. And I guess the last thing I would like to mention is that I have considered playing 2 of the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I just don't know what I would cut if I wanted to keep the deck at 40, otherwise you can still just play 41. But with all of that out of the way, I'm just going to get on to the card by card, as we have the 3 copies of Infinity Dragon, the 3 copies of Orbital 7, the 3 copies of Galaxy 100, the 3 7th Tachyon, the 1 copy of Transmigration, the 1 Called By, the 1 Cross Out, the 1 Talons, the 1 copy of Jumper, the 1 copy of Summoner, the 1 copy of Orbital, the 1 copy of Vanisher, the 1 copy of Chain Dragon, the 1 copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, the 1 Afterglow, the Primal, the 2 Delta Wing, the 1 Photon Trance or the Galaxy Trance. We then have the Photon Emperor, the 3 copies of the Charmy, the 3 copies of the Ash, the 3 copies of Purge, the 3 copies of Imperm. Onto the extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Soul Flare, the 1 copy of Cypher Blade Dragon, which you can go into after using the effect of this if you're breaking a board. You can negate everything on the field, detach everything, go into this, and then get a pop. But then we have the copy of the number 62 or the number C62, and I think that this is pretty cool because it's like Arc Rebellion and Phantom Knight, where you play the Raiders Knight and the Arc Rebellion for quick OTKs. This is basically the same thing with the number C62 and the number 62. You then have the number 38, the Photon Lord, the 2 copies of number 107, pretty much 1 to reveal, 1 to summon out. We then have the Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Photon Howling, 2 of those as well, since the Drag Luxion as well as the Photon Howling and the 2 copies of Galaxy Photon Dragon. This is your starter stuff, your grind game, your way to recover after the board's potentially been broken and stuff like that. But then there's the 1 copy of Starliege to round out the deck profile. Lastly, I would like to mention the Photon Declaration. If we do get a card that lets us turn an opponent's effect into the destruction of one of our cards, then I would strongly recommend this as it does allow you to skip your opponent's turn potentially. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can drop a thumbs up, subscribe, and maybe even hype the video, as it really does help a small channel like mine. But anyways, it's Bones, signing out.